What's good, everybody? It's your boy Flan Speaks back for another video. Now, I'm hoping your holidays went well, you enjoyed yourself, did everything that you normally do, and I must admit, listen, it feels good to be back doing fantasy genre stuff. It's been a while since The Witcher. That was almost 2 years ago before the pandemic, and of course we know about Game of Thrones, how that went. Now, Amazon Prime had just released their new fantasy series, The Wheel of Time, which I guess they're hoping will give them a success similar to Game of Thrones or maybe The Witcher with Netflix. First things first, this will be a fan type of coverage of it. I have not read the books like I've done for The Witcher or like I did for Game of Thrones. I did see The Eye of the World a few years ago. I did buy that. I may have gotten through a couple of chapters, so I'm blind with this here. What I know is what they're putting on screen and other things that I research when it comes to the world building. I looked into some of those things, which I'll share with you guys as we go along. I have watched the first 5 episodes, okay, so I'm able to formulate some opinion based off of the limited parts of the world and characters they've shown there, and I've come to the conclusion that this thing is full of action, this thing has some good drama, this thing has people on the move, this thing has witches and warlocks, or the equivalent of that as it relates to this particular world, and I absolutely love that, and we're gonna just straight dive up in it. The Wheel of Time appears to be set in a post-apocalyptic world that has less technological advances than ours. However, they appear to have more spiritual and more advancement at the level of using magic and honing the power that's in nature. The best way I could kind of put it. Because what you got are some magic wielding women like these two who hate men, and also ones like this one right here who loves to keep a boy toy next to her. Hey, look, it's a different world, different culture. I'm not judging, but what I will tell you is about this one right here. She seems to be the moral crutch of the story at this particular point, or her and another one. But amongst these women that got power, this one right here is very powerful. I done seen her do some amazing things on here, which I won't get into. And the boy toy that she keeps with her, she does not abuse him. And she appears to not even use him for sex, which is kind of surprising. So you got this asexual woman here, along with many others, who are the most powerful people in the story. And just in case you were wondering about men, apparently what happens here in their world is that men are able to channel the forces of nature as well in this world. However, back in the day, as the story goes, before time change, which happens every time a wheel that controls time just turns all the way around, that before that happened, there was this guy that destroyed the world who people probably thought was a messiah, which sounds kind of familiar to some stories that, we have in our world. What they're saying is that this guy had corrupted the whole male ability to wield, and because of it, every man who tries to channel, he becomes crazy, starts hearing female voices in his ear. Ain't that something? Women driving men crazy. What's new? I'm just messing around with y'all. Anyway, now I'm guessing that's probably not in the books. It's probably one of those changes, and because I've covered so many book to screen, on-screen types of material, I can kind of detect when that's likely what happened. But anyone here who knows, just let me know in the comment section. Is that a book thing or not? Because I know a lot of times in books, it'll just be general madness or something like that. But on screen, they feel like they have to show the audience something, so they create the voice, the female voice that's in his ear. You know what I mean. At any rate, what we know so far is her name is Moiraine Sedai, and she is one of the members of the powerful Aes Sedai, which is just like an all-female witch coven. I know some book readers will have an issue with that, but really, it's similar to witch coven. Apparently, they have different colors and different sections amongst them who focus on a number of different things. I'm not going to get into that because I'm not here to teach you about it. I just want to let you know how I think the show. So needless to say, the character Moiraine Sedai, I definitely like. How could you not? She's just so good-hearted and she's so beneficial to the show. I like her approach that she's willing to argue and debate with her enemies and not just attack them. But man, for some strange reason, I have this eerie feeling that she is the Eddard Stark of this particular show, and that is a scary thought. At any rate, as for other characters, these two women here are very important. They're just some normal villagers. One of them has some abilities and talents. Actually, both of them do, as you will see in the story. Well, the Moraine that we saw, she's there looking for these women, as well as these three guys, because she's working on an eschatological belief or prophetic belief that one of these five people are the Dragon Reborn, who is the guy I told you about before the last will, who effed everything up. Now, I'm going to say something here. I have done a little bit of research to know that in the original book series, the Dragon Reborn can only be a male person, cannot be a female person. However, the show is making it appear that it could be a male or a female by having all five of them be candidates, which is why Moraine is looking for these five and why she has an interest in them. Now, I could be wrong, but I believe the show made this change in order to add more intrigue in this first season, because right now the people looking don't know who the dragon is. They think it could be one of these five. And in that way it adds more mystery. All right, now that's what I'm hoping it is, and of course I could be wrong. So in other words, of course I don't know the story, but if there is an actual Dragon Reborn in the books, I still believe the show will honor that, and whoever that dragon is will be that person. And if it's to be a male in the books, I think it'll be a male here. And as you see, there's a tremendous amount of diversity here in this particular world. And I mean, some people probably have an issue with that or not, but for me, it's a post-apocalyptic situation. It isn't like medieval Europe or medieval Africa or medieval Asia or anything like that. So who's to say what the rules are in a post-apocalyptic world where everything starts all over and every soul is going back into the new world, the new recreated world, because reincarnation and these things have a big role to play in this particular world. So it's a world that's created. There's no frame of reference that we can use to draw from ours to have a problem with it or to whatever. Now, I know diversity is a hot button topic, but you won't find it as being an issue here. I couldn't care less. At any rate, there are a number of obstacles getting in the way, because what's happening is Moraine, she goes and has an interest in these five, but also what's happening, there are others who have an interest in them, because it's a prophetic eschatological belief that pervades this particular society. So you have, like, for example, these guys here, who to me are the most scariest people in here. They remind me of a mixture of like the Knights Templar and another little group here in America that used to wear white sheets, But basically, they are like religious fanatics, apparently, who hate both the Aes Sedai, who practice the magic, and they hate the Dragon Reborn. But you have these guys who are, at this point, my favorite antagonist, and then you also have just the dark ones, which are probably demons, I guess, and the devil. Like, there's the name of Shaitan, which is a borrowing off of the Arabic word for Satan, the devil, which is interesting, but they haven't shown a lot yet with them, other than having them, without getting spoilery, have taken interest in our particular heroes. And also, they summon some demon spawn things called Trollocs who chase them, And I don't get spoilery, but that's basically who you have as the antagonist as well. So they have enemies from, like, the living here and from the dark forces, which are kind of considered undead or what. Or if undead is a bad word for it, then they are like demon life, unseen demons. And I am here all for it, but it's a world where the patriarchs seem to have taken over. Men are often kings, but is a world run by the women, who seem to have this power, and men are oftentimes hunted, they are oppressed and everything. So it's kind of like a flipping of the narrative of what you have in our world, man. And I'm all here for it, especially if the place, if the place they're going with it makes sense, and ultimately it shows lessons or provides lessons for us as humans, to extract from and to improve our lives. so long as they're going to stick to, where the author was going, and really give out, the lesson that the author was trying to teach. And as long as the producers don't have their own agenda, or they're not going to undermine what Brandon Sanderson's message is, whatever that is, I'm all for it, man. And yeah, man, thank you guys, man, for coming through and listening, man, to me, spill a little bit of nonsense on you. And yeah, man, I look forward to episode 6. Coming soon, I'm going to give breakdowns of each episode. This here, just a general breakdown, and let you know, man, that this thing has definitely got my attention. I like it, man. So, till next time, man, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Click that like button, man, and I will see you people in the very near future. I'm out.